Danganronpa is a series I got into a few months ago, and it's one of my favourite series of all time for the most part. When it comes to scaling, however, there are limited options for a really good video. Sure, there is the likes of Nagito, Sakura, or maybe even Maki, but there were only really 3 options, I think, for a big Danganronpa scaling video. One of them was Monokuma, due to him essentially just being the mascot of Danganronpa, and maybe I'll make a video on him at some point. There's also Junko, due to essentially being the main antagonist of Danganronpa as a whole, but today's video will be none other than Izuru Kamukura, the one who embodies the very concept of what talent is, and is one of, if not the most powerful character in all of Danganronpa. Shout out to God of Friendship Frisk and Phoenix Wright on Discord who helped out with this video as well. The calcs and the descriptions of like the abilities and the feats shown here will be linked in the description below as well. So if you're going to enjoy this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and let's get on with talking about how strong is Izuru Kamukura. For starters, as Izuru is the strongest character in the series, or is it bare minimum up there, he scales above all the feats I'm about to mention. I'll make clear why to those of you who are unfamiliar with Danganronpa later on, but for now just accept the fact that Izuru scales above all of these feats. The first feat here is of Nekomaru taking a shit. Yeah, I'm being serious here. Nekomaru takes a shit so hard it creates an explosion so big it would be equal to 78.4 kilotons of TNT, or enough to destroy an entire town. Yeah, Nekomaru taking a shit would unironically solo a lot of popular series out there. Anyways, another town level feat here is of Nagito, who creates a large explosion. Granted, you could argue this feat doesn't scale to Nagito himself due to how it was created. However, multiple characters survived this blast, such as Reiko, Ruruka, and one guy's name I'm not going to try and pronounce. This explosion was so big it would equal the power of 413.4 kilotons of TNT, or large town level. However, these feats are mere child's play by comparison to the best feat of the series. Those of you who scale Danganronpa know what I'm talking about here, which is the Big Bang Monokuma, which was capable of splitting clouds. Due to the size of the Big Bang Monokuma, the speed of which they split the clouds at, and the power required to do so, this feat would be equal to 202.24 megatons of TNT, or enough power to destroy an entire mountain. Izuru scales to this due to scaling above Komaru and Toko, who are capable of damaging and defeating the Big Bang Monokuma while also taking attacks from them. So yeah, Izuru's punches would be so powerful they're packing the power required to destroy entire mountains. When it comes to speed for Izuru, once again we have to upscale him from everybody else in the series. However, there are multiple feats which place characters at around sub-relativistic to even faster than light. The first feat is of Mukuro and Danganronpa If, whose moves so fast that the bullets and explosions look frozen in time by comparison. This feat would require her to move at almost 8 million miles per hour, or approximately 0.012 the speed of light. However, the more concrete scaling comes from this game. Within this game, the weapons that the heroes use is called the Hat Gun, which fires blasts made up of electromagnetic waves in order to manipulate technology. With the electromagnetic waves moving at the speed of light, Komaru is shown capable of dodging blasts from the gun, with one feat in specific being calced out to 1.07 times the speed of light. However, there is one more feat from the gun, specifically with how it interacts with Nagisa's mech, which is able to move fast enough to intercept the waves faster than the feat which I mentioned with Komaru, which was calced out at 4.4 times the speed of light. Izuru should be much faster than this, but to an unquantifiable degree. Anyways, now the stats are out of the way, let's get on to talking about why Izuru scales above everybody else and why he is just so powerful. Now, before I get on to talking about what Izuru has, I have to explain the power system within Danganronpa and how it works. The main cast of Danganronpa all attend the biggest school in Japan, Hope's Peak Academy. This academy is used to foster students who are exceptionally talented in one specific area of expertise. This can range from the typical ideas of what talent is, such as a gymnast or a musician, to some insane stuff such as a detective or literally a princess. Not to mention, people who attend Hope's Peak Academy are considered the best at what they do, potentially in the whole world, for some people being practically superhuman with their abilities. Izuru is someone who attended Hope's Peak Academy, so what talent does he have that makes him so strong? Well, when he attended Hope's Peak, he technically didn't have a talent, but after undergoing the Izuru Kamukura project, he gained every talent in the world, exceeding each individual talent as well, literally becoming talent itself. The only question you could have for what talents he might not have are for characters in the distant future of Danganronpa, since Izuru doesn't exist there. But I'll get to talking about that separately after I go over all the talents we know him to have for a fact. Going over this, I will separate these talents into 3 different tiers. Starting off, I will go over the talents which are essentially useless for fighting, before then going on to the talents which could either somewhat help, but not that much, or are only super specific to situations, and then going on to talents which are going to be very useful for fighting someone. Such obsolete talents are the ultimate pop idol, fanfic writer, moral compass, writer, affluent prodigy, fashionista, cook, traditional dancer, gamer, princess, artist, drama, social studies, homeroom, detective, despair, hope, student council president, housekeeper, therapist, confectioner, farmer, agitator, botanist, manager, makeup artist, secretary, and weather forecaster. Now, I know I've said that all of these are obsolete, but there are at least some things you can pull from here. For starters, Izuru's ability to manipulate people is just through the fucking roof. For the likes of the ultimate pop idol and fashionista are capable of charming people just with their looks. The ultimate moral compass, the student council president, and the manager is shown capable of leading on a low scale, but with the talents such as the ultimate princess and ultimate affluent prodigy, he would essentially be capable of reliably running an entire country by himself. With the ultimate affluent prodigy being a part of this, you can argue that he can also literally run the entire world as well. Not to mention, there are people like the ultimate therapist and agitator who are capable of easily swaying people's opinions, and also the ultimate despair and the ultimate hope, who are literally capable of placing people into a despair and hope respectively. Keep in mind that these are all very potent with individually, much less when they're all combined together. Hell, even the ultimate homeroom is capable of manipulating people extremely well, much less with all of the talents mentioned previously added on top of that. The next category are the ones that are either not super useful or hyper-specific to different situations. These include the ultimate baseballer, programmer, biker gang leader, gambler, swimmer, clairvoyant, imposter, musician, nurse, team manager, breeder, yakuza, mechanic, animator, PE, pharmacist, pyrotechnician, and rock climber. Many of these talents are a testament to how athletic Izuru is, being a master of many sports, especially with baseball and swimming, since we know that someone who isn't even the ultimate swimmer is capable of swimming at superhuman speeds, and we also see the ultimate baseballer himself throw things with superhuman level accuracy. You then also have the likes of the ultimate biker gang leader and the ultimate yakuza, meaning that not only would you have even more manipulation skills, but he's capable of riding motorbikes perfectly, and also has a good history with brutal fights. The ultimate clairvoyant does sound like it would be useful, but the user's predictions only ever come true 20 to 30% of the time, so it's not as useful. The ultimate gambler, however, is about crazy. You see, Celeste, who is the ultimate gambler, has never ever lost a gamble that she's ever been in, even against the greatest and most skilled gamblers in the world. Hell, she's even been able to win games that she hasn't even known the rules of or even how to play, and Izuru scales above this. The ultimate imposter is pretty self-explanatory. Izuru can perfectly emulate someone else's appearances and actions. The ultimate musician sounds like it would be too useful, but Ibuki does show having enhanced hearing and being able to resist loud sounds which can debilitate people. The ultimate nurse allows Izuru to heal people from minor wounds. The ultimate breeder also allows him some sort of emotional telepathic connection with animals, being able to tame any animal he comes across. The ultimate pharmacist can make drugs which can physically amplify a person greatly and can heal people, meaning that Izuru can amp his own physical stats should he so need, and can also heal himself. But most importantly, if Izuru had prep time, the combination of the ultimate programmer, mechanic, and animator would be absolutely lethal. This is due to the fact that the ultimate programmer could turn a broken laptop into a super sophisticated AI within a short amount of time, and the ultimate animator could make animations which could literally brainwash the people who watch it, meaning that if given prep time, Izuru could use his mechanic talent to make robots, give them a super advanced AI, and then hypnotize anyone who ever looks at them. Going on to the important combat talents, Izuru would have the talents of the ultimate martial artist, soldier, murderous fiend, analyst, swordswoman, gymnast, boxer, blacksmith, wrestler, bodyguard, hitman, street fighter, secret agent, and lucky student. Firstly, there are many martial arts which Izuru is a master of and is also very acrobatic due to being a gymnast. The ultimate martial artist, however, was capable of winning 400 straight fights without losing a single time. Even at the age of 14, they were able to spar with boxing champions and was able to beat their own father, who at the time was the strongest man in the world. Meaning that with all these martial arts skills stacked on top of each other, Izuru is incredibly skilled. There's also then the ultimate soldier, who's fought in countless battles yet has never been injured once, which just shows their skill and potency in fighting. Mukuro also shows having instinctual reaction, self-mastery, and mastery over any weapon. This lends itself well to other talents Izuru has, such as the ultimate swordswoman and the ultimate blacksmith, meaning that he could create any weapon he wants and instantly be the best at that weapon in the entire world. The ultimate murderous fiend is also pretty interesting, since Genocide Jack is a serial killer who's so potent at killing that they were basically deemed a boogeyman and never got close to being caught. Considering this is stacked on top of the ultimate hitman's abilities, and Izuru could kill countless people without even getting caught once. As the ultimate analyst as well, Izuru could predict perfectly many things, including how people will act, which will give him minor precognition. There is then also the unnamed talent of Takumi Hajira, I think I'm pronouncing that right, who's capable of copying any murder technique. I could cut someone's head off so precisely that you could grab the collar from underneath their neck, reattach the head afterwards, and no damage has been dealt, which is absolutely fucking crazy. But by far, Izuru's most broken talent is his supernatural luck. With this, Izuru gets really overpowered. For starters, Nagito, who has the talent originally, is shown consistently winning odds which are 1 in 6 or 1 in 16, but that's far from the best feats. Going up in scale here, Nagito was once kidnapped by a murderer. However, not only did he manage to escape, he realised the bag that the murderer stuffed him in had a lottery ticket in it, and that lottery ticket just so happened to be the winning one, which made Nagito rich afterwards. There was then also Nagito being in a plane at one point, which ended up getting hijacked by terrorists. However, at that exact moment, a fist-shaped meteor fell out of the sky and directly hit the terrorists and not Nagito. Hell, he was even capable of making an entire building collapse down just by throwing a ball off the wall, which caused a random screw to come loose, and then caused a chain reaction which undid all other screws in the building holding it together, causing the entire thing to collapse. Izuru has this luck, and even to an even greater extent. An example of when this could be used in combat is when Izuru had a gun pointed at him by none other than Nagito of all people, but the gun jammed, which gave Izuru enough time to move over, take the gun from Nagito's hands, and then shoot him. There was then also the time that someone wielded just a weapon in front of him and tried to kill him, but accidentally tripped over and landed on a chainsaw, but yeah. One last thing to go over here is Izuru's intelligence, just being through the absolute roof. Keep in mind that real-world geniuses are only perfect at one particular thing. For example, a good detective isn't necessarily a good rocket scientist and vice versa. But Izuru excels in so many different areas, it's actually insane. We've already went over how he's the best at programming and sciences, but also literature with writing and literally every other school subject. There's then obviously the fact he's also greater than the ultimate detective, who can solve countless crimes even at the age of 13. So yeah, Izuru is pretty nuts. If you include the talents from Danganronpa V3, he honestly doesn't gain too much, it just adds onto and stacks upon his already previous levels of power and intelligence. The obsolete talents are Ultimate Pianist, Adventurer, Artist, Astronaut, Supreme Leader, Anthropologist, Magician, Robot, Detective, and Cosplayer. Some of these could be useful, I guess, such as being multilingual, which just adds even more intelligence onto him. Due to also being the Ultimate Supreme Leader, Anthropologist, even more intelligence amps could be added on top of that. The Ultimate Astronaut could also provide another boost to intelligence, since Kaito was capable of passing an exam you would normally need a college degree for, despite being far too young to even attend college. The more useful talents are the Ultimate Tennis Pro, Maid, Neo-Aikido Master, Inventor, Entomologist, Assassin, and Child Caregiver. The Ultimate Tennis Pro is another sport to add to the pile, but was also capable of soloing an entire mafia with just a tennis racket and iron ball. The Ultimate Maid is also noteworthy since she can also double as a bodyguard and could lead a country from the shadows. Neo-Aikido is another martial arts to add to the pile for Izuru. The Ultimate Inventor increases Izuru's mechanical abilities even more. The Ultimate Entomologist allows Izuru to control almost all bugs and even see things at a microscopic level. The Ultimate Assassin adds even more potency to Izuru's ability to kill, and the Ultimate Child Caregiver allows Izuru to reduce anyone he's talking to having the mind of an infant. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. The only real argument that he has these talents is due to Izuru's character of literally being talent incarnate, but also the fact that he has crossed over with the V3 cast and crossover games made by Danganronpa, where he also has their talents. However, that game is also not canon, so it's a bit of a grey area. But does Izuru have a weakness? Considering the massive amounts of talents, weaknesses could be very hard to come by due to the fact that any weakness one talent might have can be very easily covered by having another. But Izuru having all of these talents is exactly his weakness, as he looks down on everybody. Don't get it twisted, Izuru isn't prideful or disillusioned, he just looks down on everybody because he is objectively better than everybody else. Think about it. Within Danganronpa, Izuru could do literally everything even the most skilled people could do better than them and then combined. If you were the only person in the world filled with ants, no matter how skilled, strong or smart the ants may be, they're still just ants compared to you. Because of this, Izuru perceives everything as boring, since he knows that he will win every fight he's in, he knows he'll win every game, any food he eats will be worse than the food he could just make himself, any music he hears will be worse than something he can make himself as well, any photograph taken will be shit by comparison because Izuru is not the one doing it, any book would just be awful because again he's not the one writing it, and he knows how every conversation that he has will go. The idea of being isolated by their power is a concept in many different series, but it's particularly different in Izuru's case. For example, Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen lives his life in isolation due to the fact he's stronger than everybody else. But there are people who do have the potential to surpass him, and also people who can outright do things he can't. By comparison, Izuru can do literally everything that anyone else can better and then combined. Due to this, he really does underestimate people. Granted, due to his lack of pride and massive intelligence, if he ever runs into someone who's just as strong as him or even stronger, I doubt that he would not know to take them seriously, but for the brief moments at the start of the fight, he would be his usual bored self. Regardless, Izuru has mountain level attack potency with faster than light speeds. His hacks allows him extreme intelligence, incredible abilities to manipulate almost anyone. He's skilled with any weapon, martial arts, can copy techniques to kill people, and can predict what you're going to do before you do them, with extreme supernatural luck which makes him almost untouchable. With prep time, Izuru could do absolutely crazy things whenever he stacks upon his talents. He could literally create a robot army with extremely smart AI, with incredibly powerful weapons and can hypnotize anyone, to have it take over the world, then afterwards be democratically elected by a resistance to then lead the world without any sort of control or anything, just through pure intelligence. It's absolutely insane. There is other things you could bring up here for Izuru. For example, there are things like, for example, he must be more talented than the people who did the Izuru Kamukura project as well, meaning that if he wanted to, he could create more Izuru Kamukuras, which is just another thought to think about. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, comment below your thoughts on Izuru and matchups you like for him. I will be talking about maybe Monokuma at some point in another video, and I may end up making a Monokuma video someday if the demand is high enough, or maybe even an Izuru versus Deku video at some point, but I'll see you all next time.